Hello, welcome to Shutter Jams. We are giving... What was it she said? What was the review thing she said? It was like a long-winded one.
Oh yeah, Chloe said that she was like, yeah, because it's to do with like you're talking about like photography, so the shutter makes sense, but it's also music, so it's jams.
But there were longer form. She was like a no bullshit
Oh,
guide.
that's right.
Oh, a no bullshit guide to succeeding in the creative industry.
Yeah, I really like that.
Well,
That's
there,
cool.
there we go.
I feel
Okay,
like
something like that.
that's the tagline.
That's the slogan.
Yeah,
Cool. Yeah.
Right.
Well, that's that.
yeah.
Well, that was hard work. Probably terrible to watch, or listen to. But you're welcome. Television.
It's only coffee in here, I promise.
How are you since we did this 10 minutes ago? Well, I'm very aware that we're not going to be here. Well, I mean, this one will go out this week. The one we've just done will go out this week.
Yeah.
The one coming up will go out next week. I'm just aware that we might be away. Well, we are away for a weekend.
We're just getting one in the bank, aren't we?
Yeah, just getting one of the
Get one in the bank.
And we're sorted.
But yeah, I'm really good since the 10 minutes ago. Yeah, really good.
Yeah.
Doing great. Having a wonderful day.
Good. It's nice, isn't it? It's nice to just be in here and doing stuff, to be honest.
Yeah, it's been a productive morning, to be honest.
Yeah.
Got up early, went to the gym.
Nice.
Got a couple of coffees in. Now I'm buzzing my tits off.
Yeah, I've refilled again, but the flask is now empty, so I am not. I'm going to be.
Full of beans.
I've got to teach later, and I'm going to be just
More
bouncing off the walls.
more so than usual.
I'm going to have to run there. Yeah, cool. Oh, right, so the last one we were talking about, the sort of tech we've been using, and
some new things we've come across.
And new stuff that's been happening to the studio. Mm-hmm. What do we do now?
Well, we were talking about the processes of that we use to make a track or to like make a song.
Yeah.
Or translate it to photography. Your process to setting up and doing a shoot. Just some processes for what we do. I guess makes sense, right?
Yeah. So you're probably a good person to ask for this. What's your process for? Because we could go. How nitty gritty do we get?
Sure.
How in depth do we get with it? Now, what I do want to stress, I'm in the process of writing it at the moment. I'm going to be writing some courses on music production and basically how I do it. I'm not saying it's right. Probably a lot of it probably isn't, but it's how I do it.
It's all about various approaches.
Yeah. I don't know if there is there will be an actual right way of doing it, but it's boring. Most of it's taste, isn't it?
Yeah, there's no wrong answers. Just different answers that produce different results.
You work with a producer because you like the stuff that they've done, don't you?
Yeah.
Really, you like their style,
you trust.
Yeah,
their process, I guess.
Yeah, so I'm going to be writing 3 courses across varying levels of gear, basically, and affordability, and they will be reflected in their pricing with that affordability. So anyway, more about that later. But we're basically going to give you all for free now. What we can go into a bit of detail, but what's your kind of process for songwriting? Okay. What do you start with? How do you flesh it out?
Yeah.
And what's your finishing process?
All right. So for me, this is quite a big thing because I change with my mindset on this quite often. People always say to me, do you do the music first, the lyrics first? How do you start it? And the thing is, like, I'll use, because I've obviously written in pop music and musical theatre more recently, which I would argue is you include pop music in that genre anyway, depending on what your writing style is, you use it all. But for me, I've been having to attribute the songs to a certain part of the story, try and create certain ideas. And so if you can start with the music to try and create a vibe, but if your lyric is incorrect, you're not going to create the right moment for that point of the show. Yeah. And obviously, I'll take you back through to when I started writing this musical. I would always sit down in the studio, come up with some chords and some instruments that I wanted to use, and I would start there trying to capture the feeling of what I wanted to do, and then I would apply the lyrics and melody afterwards. Now that process changed a little bit when I did that a couple of times. Loved the vibe that I'd created, but the meaning wasn't quite right, and the hook line, the hook lyric, and so I ended up wasting a few songs. So since then, I started doing. I would start from a key lyric alongside a melody, and then I'd build the song around that.
Interesting.
But
Okay.
but I hate that. I hate doing that. It's not my favourite thing to do at all, because I find it so exhausting trying to think of basically the final product first. For me, it's a really unnatural way of writing, but it does work in terms of musical theatre. So I think if I was writing a pop track, I'd probably start with the vibe, and then work out what that vibe was, and then I'd decide, okay, now I want to build the lyrics, build the story around that, and do it that way around. That's my preferred.
See, interestingly, you say about that being different to the way you would write pop music, or pop, like contemporary popular music. I almost think, because I work in a similar way. Like I basically spend forever trying to come up with a chord sequence that no one's used before, and like it just can't be done. They've all been used. So you just end up going, all right, that will do. And then flesh it out and make the instrumentation sound nice and make the song sound nice, and then kind of think, what does this sound like? That Wolves Won't Howl was a couple of...
Check that out, by the way. I love that song.
Oh yeah, Wolves Won't Howl. So my
Dave Rogers.
Pseudonym for my music is Davy Ray Rogers.
Davy Ray Rogers.
Check it out on Spotify.
It's just David Rogers, but with a stutter in the middle.
It's just Davy Rogers. Davy Ray Rogers. Check out Wolves Won't Howl. I basically had a loop that I liked, and then started build, and then I basically just dicked around for like a couple of hours, put in the sounds that I liked, and then thought, this sounds to me like zombies going across Margate seafront. And then was like, all right, well, they're going to a rave. So it was zombies on Margate seafront with like glow sticks. And then was like, okay, well, let's follow that Halloween-y vibe. And then you helped me actually with because you had definitely had a thing about sirens at the time.
Yeah, I kept including the lyrics "sirens" for some reason. I was really enjoying it because of the dual meaning of sirens implying danger, but also the siren sound, the siren call of
like a mermaid. Yeah, a
siren.
Dark. A siren. And the lyrics, I mean, to be honest, they didn't take much thought.
Yeah,
really, it was lights go up when the sun goes down. City streets, new playground.
Can't remember what comes next.
It'll call you out like a siren sound, and we'll dance till the wolves won't howl.
Yeah.
So the dance till the wolves won't howl was like, well, if the moon's still up, they're still going to be howling. So we're dancing.
And that already lends itself musically to something you could include, which is the ooh.
Exactly. Which is just kind of bunged in.
Sounds wicked.
But anyway, so that, but.
That's an organic way of writing. I like that.
I think that's an organic way of writing. But I think a lot of popular music nowadays does it the other way around. I think they start with a hook.
Yeah.
I mean, you think about anything that's kind of in the charts.
Yeah.
I presume they would have started with the chorus,
maybe
with a line and gone, "This is what I want," and then written everything else around it. But
there are times I hear a pop song and it really does my head in, because you can tell that whoever the writer is has just gone, do you know what? I just like the word unconditionally. Let's write a song.
Yeah.
Unconditional. Sorry, Max Martin, but I'm not a fan of the song.
That's good.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. But I mean, there are several songs where you can tell that's the way they've started. They've gone from a concept and then built around that. And and then again, perfectly valid way of writing. In fact, that's exactly what I just said I do for the musical. I think my preferred way though is for it to arrive more organically, rather than trying to start at the big hook, letting the hook be discovered among something else. Yeah, that's my preferred way of writing anyway.
I think it depends as well the context of it, because if you've got like Plan B had that album Defamation of Strickland Banks, and each song kind of told a part of a bigger story.
Yeah, I love
so if
that.
you listen to the whole album in order, it kind of tells a story.
Yeah.
So I suppose, and the musical, I suppose, is similar in that there is a story that's kind of there,
that's
and
it.
the songs then need to lend themselves to that story.
Exactly.
So I suppose if you've got a bigger story, I know I've said story a lot, but if you've got a bigger story that you want to tell, fitting those little bits in, you'd have to work like that.
Yeah.
Whereas the organic way that we would do, I suppose, is more like
You get a bit of a mishmash.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But do you think that also comes from? Because I don't think I always was, but I would say I'm more a musician than a singer nowadays, which is weird because I make more money out of the singing. But I would say I'm more of a musician inherently than a singer.
These days, honestly, me too. And
Would that be why we write like that?
maybe.
Because a singer that doesn't play an instrument or kind of strums a few chords would probably start with a melody because that's their primary instrument.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, definitely. I know a lot of people who are singers and aren't musicians who write, and they like to get someone else to give them a chord sequence first.
Yes.
Or,
Yeah. Well, that happens a lot.
yeah. I actually worked with a guy, Nigel Longfellow. He's great, actually. He's really good as a writer, but he's not particularly averse, doesn't quite understand the musical side of things.
Yep.
So what he does is he actually takes these tracks online. There's a site where they're pre-made tracks, high quality, and then he will write to those tracks, send them to me to sing. I will sing the track over the top, and then I think his end goal is to have the tracks re-recorded by someone else.
Yeah.
Similar chord sequences and stuff, but just everything would be different in some way, so that the song still works. And that I find that fascinating.
That seems to be happening a lot
Yeah.
though. Like I've had a few rappers in that wanted to do podcasts actually, and they were like, I need to record this and do this and do this, and I was like, well, where have you got the track from? I was like, YouTube. It's like royalty free. People create royalty free beats and put them up.
Great way of writing. I mean,
That's good.
Yeah.
I mean, if you can do that sort of, if you can churn them out nice and quick, because I suppose from a YouTube perspective, if you've got enough plays, they're going to monetize it anyway. And if you're playing it over and over and over again to write something to it, I suppose. Well, I don't know. Maybe it's a.
yeah. I mean, purists, I'm sure, would definitely argue that that's it's inauthentic way of writing. But you know what? If he gets the job done,
What's an
it's
authentic
all.
way of writing
You know,
nowadays?
it's all about the end result. How you get there is secondary to that, I think.
Which is weird. That's exactly the opposite way I live my life.
Yeah,
The end result doesn't matter. It's like, let's just enjoy the ride.
I like that.
Well, it is though, isn't it?
Well, that's the thing. In terms of the stuff that we've been doing recently, we do everything from the ground up. We don't let anyone else do the work for us, even when we probably should.
No, we probably should.
Yeah.
Well, no, we shouldn't let other people do the work for us. But I would like to collaborate with people. So if people are looking for photography stuff, videos, that was a nice little seg, wasn't it? That was a nice little touch in there. Yeah, because we're constantly producing. I would say music production is probably the biggest of our bread and butter.
Yeah.
The photography comes very close second for me.
I agree.
Video's taken a bit of a dip. I've got some clients booked in. I need to get that vocal booth finished really, because I've got some clients booked in relatively soon, like early next month.
Yeah.
So I think it might be coming back up again because we're looking to offer. I think we can do this, can't we?
Yeah. Well, we've videoed 2 things today.
We have.
Well, the same thing twice.
I was going to talk about the promo days.
Yes.
So we're looking to offer promo. I was thinking about this because a lot of it will be by invitation and will be, but I have no idea how much to charge for it for something. I would be quite interested in hearing other people's opinions on this sort of stuff as well. So because we're here and we do everything, and we can do everything in house. There's no outsourcing.
Yeah, that's new for us, which is great.
It is brilliant.
Yeah. It
means we don't have to. We've got no extra overheads really to shell out for things. Don't get me wrong, the overheads are enough.
There's some.
By the by, so we want to offer musicians, performers, creative people. It will probably be more for musicians and artists to come in for a day, record, I don't know, 2, 3 tracks.
Yeah, 2 or 3. Yeah.
2 or 3 tracks. I like the. Well, I'll tell you my idea, and then you can let me know whether I'm completely wrong or whether I've missed anything. But I'm thinking, come in for the day, spend the day with us. We record 2 or 3 tracks with you. We do a photo shoot. We video at least one of the songs.
Mm-hmm.
I reckon. Actually, if we're recording them, we could record them live, and we could film it as well.
Yeah, perfect.
And what I do like the idea of is that if it's, say, an acoustic guitarist, we can sort them out. They do their track, but we play on one of them.
Yeah, I like that.
With them.
Well up for that.
And then get them on a podcast to have a chat with us about what they're doing, what they've done, where they've come from. Because I've got a bit of a thing about humanising musicians. And I think there's a real stigma against musicians from like the unknowing public that we're either prima donnas, or we're skint. There's like, I don't know, people go, oh, he's a musician. You're like, all right, okay. So which coffee shop do you work in?
Yeah.
Like, well, no, actually, I'm making okay.
Didn't you have that the other day? You had someone say, it's like, oh, there's no money in that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I was chatting with somebody, bless him, and he was giving it all. I don't know what he does, but he was like, you should start your own business. You should start your own business. I was, after about half hour of listening to him talking about like maintenance, home maintenance. I was putting up a fence today, and I'm going to be, I'm going to have my hand halfway down the toilet to fix that tomorrow, and I'm going to this. Work for myself, mate. It's brilliant. I've got no one to answer to. You should think about it. And I was like, oh yeah, all right. And he, you should think about it. Work for yourself. I said, well, I do. He said, oh yeah, what do you do then? I said, I'm a musician and photographer. Nah, no money in that, mate. It's like, all right, okay.
Oh, sorry.
So, well, I'm two years in.
I'll try again. I'll start fresh.
I'm 2 years in. I'll tell you what, I'll sell my guitars off. I'll get some paintbrushes. I think it's a good idea. I can't remember how I got into this. Promo day. Yeah. So basically, we'll get artists to come in. We'll record a couple of their tracks. We'll play on at least one of their tracks with them.
Perfect.
Because it's, frankly, advertisement for us as well.
Yeah.
Photo shoot, podcast, video, and then leave at the end of the day with maybe a mug saying, I had a promo day, and loads of content to be able to put out.
Perfect.
I think it's a good idea.
Wicked idea.
Yeah. No idea how we'd price it.
Yeah, I know loads of people that will want that, for sure.
And I think once it gets rolling out as well, because there's always going to be people that go, "Oh, I don't know about that." But once there's a few under the belt,
because there's a few really good places in London and Essex that do it's sort of intended for your musical theatre lot, isn't it? The what would you call it? Like a session with where they're singing. You can hear them sing. You can see them. It's
like showreel creation.
Showreel creation, exactly, which you do anyway.
Which I do anyway.
But yeah, I feel like we can just take it just a step further. Like the headshots at the same time, same space, same time. Like that's just something that I think a lot of people really, really value.
Yeah. Well, that is the other thing. I run a thing called real time sessions. That's pretty much what that is as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
I need to sort out a pay online system, but I've got to I don't know. Anyway. But yeah, I think it could work well. There's not really anywhere in Kent that does it anymore. There was. Do you know Big Jam Studios?
Yeah, I know of Big Jam.
Closed up.
Oh, did they? I didn't know that.
I think he's closed up and sold off.
Okay.
I'm not really sure why.
That's because there's no money in music, mate.
No money in music, yeah, or photography. Just sack it off. That's what he's going to do. He's going to be a painter.
He's going to be a painter.
Yeah. He's going. Yeah, not knocking painter and decorator. You know, if that's what he wants to do. I can make a Mona Lisa out of this wall. But yeah, he's sold up.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if he's sold up. I know it's not there anymore. I saw like an Instagram post. Almost felt like sending him a message going, "Are you all right?
Yeah.
Can I have your lights?" Yeah, we got well off topic. Writing.
Writing process.
Writing process. Oh yeah, we got big old sidetracked.
Or we kind of came to the end of our writing process part. So feel free. What about a photography?
I suppose we did. Yeah,
or something?
a photography process.
Yeah.
I make sure the cameras have got some charge. I'm out of breath because I've just run around all the cameras and changed all the batteries.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know really. Batteries are the bane of my life. Quite frankly. The
thing you offer that I think is something that you offer the most is several camera angles. Something that from what I've seen, a lot of people obviously can do several angles, but you seem to offer it at no extra expense
from a video.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, my feeling is I'm there anyway.
Yeah. Just chuck a few static cams up.
Well, when I did the stuff for Emil Dale.
Yeah.
So I did. I've videoed their showcase.
Yeah.
Their 2023 part-time showcase. Hair on my face. It's not gone. I can't. It's not gone. Yeah. So when I filmed Emil Dale part-time showcase, I was going to be there anyway. So I was like, well, and actually, I'm not there to capture it. Really, I'm not there. We can just do documentation, fine. But I think of things like. Start that again. I could just be there and go, all right, I'm just capturing it. But if I'm there anyway, leaving one camera just capturing the whole stage, it's just going to look boring as sin to watch. So if there are parts where there's only one person on stage, why not follow them? So if I've got another camera, for the sake of an extra, 15 minutes to set everything up, if I'm going to be stood behind it,
even so, I mean,
you're going to be stood behind the thing anyway to make sure nothing's gone wrong. So you might as well stand there and follow spot on a character. If somebody is singing a lead piece, if I was singing a lead piece in a show, I'd want you to be able to see my face.
Yeah.
I don't want
the whole stage.
The whole frame being taken up by a stage and then just one person in the middle. So just put it in there. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm probably making more work for myself than I'm charging for.
And that's pretty much our bread and butter.
That's me all over.
Under promise, over deliver.
That's
we live
the
by
goal.
that.
Yeah. But from a photography, a little bit of a secret. I tend to charge and say, I'll give you however many photos. Like I did a family photo shoot for someone in Whitstable, because they were like, we want a family photo shoot of us down the beach. I said, yep, okay, cool. I'll do 15 lightly retouched images. I'll send them. I'll pop them on Google Drive for you. You can do whatever you want for them. Here's the price. All right, okay, fantastic. We'll see you on the day. Blah blah blah, whichever. Told them they were like, how long can we expect them? I said, well, give it a week, but I should have them to you by the end of the week. Did it in 2 days, and delivered them 110 images. Because I was there, like snapping away, and like my process for it is to take everything off the card afterwards, bung it into Lightroom, and I go through and rate everything. So I rate everything 1 star once that I need to get rid of. That is absolute dog shit. Most of the time, it's like testing shots to get the exposure right, or ones where I've hit the shutter and it's got a picture of my foot, which is so often. I've got pictures. I should do an album actually. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do a photo album of just my feet. because it just happens all the time, or ones where I haven't changed the shutter speed quickly, and I've gone from being outside to coming indoors, and the shutter is too quick to pick up. The shutter's at like, I don't know, 300th of a second, and so it's quicker than the light. So you've got a black line across half of it.
Yeah.
It's like, right, all of those sort of crappy bits, get rid of them, and then go through again and rate them 3-star for any that I'm like, that's good. And that whittles them down. And then you go through the 3-star ones and rate them 4-star. And then I'm like, okay, well, I've taken however many 100 pictures over the hour. They've now whittled them down. And I'm like, cool, those are the good ones. That's pretty much what I give them. Like, I'll go through and edit them as a whole. And then go through and individually change whatever is needed for the individual image. And then there'll be the odd one that I'm like, I like that. I'm going to whack that in Photoshop and clean it up a little bit and do this and do this. And then just deliver the lot. Because I'm like, well, if I've got them all, what's the point in me having them? Someone else's family.
Yeah.
If they... I don't know. And they might be looking for things that I didn't see. So this one in particular, we had a bit of a walk along the bit. It was similar to the shoot at the weekend, actually. Except the weekend's one was more for musicians, so it was more stylized. But this one, it was a mum, dad, and I think son was probably about 4 or 5, and then a little baby son, little one. And it's like there's nice little photos here, and they're probably looking for things that I wasn't looking for, and I just think have them. Yeah, so that's probably my process. Take them off the card and rate them and do all that sort of stuff. I tend to edit in Lightroom to get the initial, basically correctively edit them. Then bung it into Photoshop to clean anything up, and then back into Lightroom for like a final look or like a color grade or something. I don't, and I probably should, I tend to, on each one, create, because if they're all in the same sort of area, tend to create a preset or a LUT in the first one and then apply it to all of them in Lightroom. But I don't know, I very rarely use the same ones twice. Because I think it was needed for that occasion.
Didn't you say at some point we were going to make some LUTs?
I was.
What does LUT stand for, David?
It's a look-up table.
Look-up table. We're going to do the stave LUTs or the S-LUTs?
Sluts.
Are we going to do that?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. The stave sluts. No, we can't do that. No,
and yet we're definitely going to.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. I don't know. Because I thought about it and was like, well, I could make a package of different color profiles, but if I don't use the same ones twice, it either says to me, well, that's not good enough to use for somebody else to use, or it's like that was specifically for that shoot.
Precisely, yeah.
So I probably need to work on them a little bit more in making them more universal.
Yeah, you could probably make something that's just a style and that could be applied to anything, but then with the caveat, you'll want to edit this according to your photo, but here's a good place to start.
Yeah, well, I think that's what all of them are anyway.
Right, sure.
I think a lot of them, I mean, if you ever buy a LUT pack and then you put it on, it never looks like...
Perfect.
Like it's been advertised as. It always looks a little bit different because the exposure of your image will be completely different than what they've taken. You might be using a completely different camera. It might have been cloudy rather than bright, or it might have been really bright. The sun is a pain in the arse when it's out.
Especially
honestly, it's really like it's hard work.
Yeah.
It's quite nice when there's like when it's warm and it's bright, but there's like a blanket of thin cloud.
It's like a softbox.
It's almost like a massive softbox. It's wicked. And it's at least consistent then. But if the sun's going in and out and it's just blown out 1 minute and dark the next. I don't know. That's probably that's probably my process.
Yeah, nice.
This keeps going off. Telling me to stand up. I don't want to stand up. I quite like sitting down. What else is there?
In terms of photo and video, I think that covers
Pretty
that.
much it, isn't it?
Always discuss the recording process very quickly, just because it's very simple what we're doing here.
It's
We're just talking just vocals,
just vocals.
just recording vocals. Very simple. Sound source, Dave, loads of noise coming out of his face.
Loads of noise.
And we won't go into something too technical because we'll save that for the.
I'll save that for the technical. Well, I mean, we can go into a bit. I mean, with the course stuff, we'll be showing you everything as well. So it'll be us or me. Well, maybe you as well.
Probably. I'll just be in the corner making coffee.
It'll be, this is what we're doing, but I will actually be doing it at the same time, so we'll talk everything through.
Yeah, but I mean, in terms of recording vocals, we just you consider the sound source, consider the space, so the reflections in the room and how it sounds, and then it's the what you're actually using, so the mic choices, going into the computer with the outboard if you've got any. We haven't got any here just now. We're working on that. And then it's your
shopping list.
Yeah, big shopping list. And then it's the mic preamps and the audio converters, and that is in this space. That is the sum of what we're doing. In fact, it's the same in any studio.
Yeah.
But we'll show you what we're using and why we're using it, and everything's got a reason for it. And that is basically all we're going to discuss about that, to be honest, because the rest will all come in those courses.
Yeah. But yeah, as a bit of an overview.
Yeah.
Yeah, you sing into the mic, you hit record.
Yeah.
Make sure it's not peaking.
Make sure it's loud enough.
Make sure it's
the other way
enough.
as well.
Yeah, the other way as well. I never have that issue.
Yeah.
It's normally the other way around.
Yeah.
And then that's kind of it, isn't it?
That's us.
I always treat my vocal afterwards.
Yeah. Loads of treatment.
But some people get really purist about pitch correction, don't they?
Yeah.
You get some people are really there isn't really an on the fence, is there? You're either for or against.
Well, I'll give you an example. I can't say names, but we were working with some of the actual best vocalists in the whole of England, for sure. These people we were working with, and I was given a final version of their recording, which was definitely untreated. I know for a fact it wasn't treated in terms of pitch correction, and they're pitchy, but not by a lot, by enough that people like Dave and I can spot when they're sharp and flattened. I feel like a lot of people would as well. It's not a lot. It's not enough to kind of go, ooh. It's more just kind of, there was a bit. And when it comes to recorded music, your ear will bite at that, and you'll kind of go, no, it's not quite right. So
I think the reason being for that is you can replay it.
Yeah. It's under the microscope.
Yeah. Whereas if you're watching, I mean, the closest, because I was just thinking, I don't think the X Factor or like The Voice or any of those kind of things have any treatment, because you can do live treatment, can't you?
Yeah, I don't know actually. I mean, I'll be honest. I actually have thought to myself, I wonder.
Okay.
Because
sometimes they're just too perfect.
Yeah.
Some of them singers are so good.
Yeah.
But I do wonder, because my immediate thought was, well, it's a competition. Of course they can't do that.
Sure.
Because even if because you wouldn't be able to have somebody there with Melodyne, like moving it around.
So I'm thinking post recording. I think they might.
Maybe.
So in the room, they obviously wouldn't hear that, but I think we, as the viewers on the TV,
might hear.
I think, but I don't know. Again, I'm speculating.
Speculating. I didn't think about that.
I've never looked into it.
But I would because of watching something live, you can be caught up in a moment. And not notice whether and actually those little like bits of pitchiness you wouldn't notice.
No.
I mean, it's very like recording. I'm quite pitchy.
Oh, me too.
I'm always slightly sharp or slightly flat, but I've never had a gig and someone's
Most
gone,
people are.
yeah, you're singing out of tune.
Yeah. I've come across so few singers that are ever like spot on every time. Honestly,
But there's always
out of
something.
hundreds, there's literally one or two I know
Yeah.
that like pretty good, and even then, still want to fix it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so a lot of people thinking what we're talking about, who maybe don't know this area particularly as well, would say, but can't you always hear vocal correction?
Not always.
Pretty much, I don't think you can. Like the way you and I do it, you can't hear it.
No.
If you're talking about an auto tuner, like
Oh yeah, we're not talking Cher.
No.
Oh, that sort of thing. Like, that's not how. Believe in love, and it sounds a bit like that, doesn't it? That was a really terrible impression.
I really enjoyed it though.
But that's
We'll add we'll add the auto tune after if you want. In post.
yeah, maybe I will. Yeah. No, I won't. I'm definitely going to leave that as is.
Purist.
I'm going to leave that as is just
Perfect.
for consistency. I
Yeah.
suppose. But you probably wouldn't be able to hear it. There are times where I think, well, that has been adjusted. But there is a difference between pitch correction and like auto tune.
Yeah.
And like things like
T-Pain
the T-Pain,
or-
and but that's a stylistic choice as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Like if that's what
Which
you're
I've
going
done before as well. Yeah.
yeah, if that's what you're going for, then wicked like that. But I think people get the ump with when you're using it and it's not stylistic; it's actually to correct something, and then you're like, well, you don't sound like that. The pitch correction side of things, I think we do is literally just giving people a little bit of a nudge so that they are where they would be if they were live anyway.
Yeah, it's the audio equivalent of airbrushing, and
Yeah.
to a point, I think I agree. If you're taking someone that's like not a good singer at all, and you're making them sound like Christina Aguilera, it's probably not.
I mean, yeah,
ideal.
Actually, the two could work quite well because if from a Photoshop perspective, and from an airbrushing perspective, I tend to use the rule of 2 weeks. So if there's something there that wasn't there 2 weeks ago, and if there's something there that won't be there in 2 weeks' time, get rid of it.
Nice.
If it's going to be there anyway, if it's a feature of their face, then keep it.
Especially if it's something like headshots and they're trying to use it to get
Yeah,
work.
I mean things like if they're like you can tone things down a little bit. Like if someone's got like I've got a mole, it's a feature of mine.
You wouldn't just completely get rid of it.
Wouldn't
you
get
might
rid
just
of
calm it down.
No, I might just. I mean, if there's one day where like I haven't had a shave and there's a particularly angry hair growing out of it, yeah, I might mole that down. I might make that a little bit smaller and less noticeable, but yeah, spots and blemishes and all that sort of thing. And similarly with vocals, if it's something that the person can do, well then why not help them do it?
Yeah, exactly.
But you can't. Oh, this is hypocritical because we've definitely done it.
100%.
But yeah,
I was just thinking.
But don't make them do something that they couldn't do.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've gone really, really, really
That's
deep
definitely
on
true,
some things.
That's yeah.
Basically, sing as deeply as you can, and then take it and go, oh, and bring it right the way down even more. And then that is it, isn't it?
We do that all the time.
Yeah, we do that.
Anyway.
Not for well.
No, actually, rephrase that. That's actually on ensemble vocals where we don't actually have access to a bass vocalist. So we've gone and done that ourselves because we didn't have that as an option.
We definitely
So that's
would
okay.
never put
So
that
that's
on a lead vocal.
Fine. No, exactly. You're right.
For the most part, if we can't sing something, we just tell the client, I can't quite sing that. Do you mind if we adjust it?
Which is
Or
something
do you mind
Dave has
if we-"
never had to do.
I don't have to do it very often because actually most of the low notes I can get as well.
I'm just remembering that one where you had to sing like up to a D above C.
I can't remember what that
It was like a D. It was like a D6. I think you had to sing a D6 in. Which by the way is one of the top notes in Defying Gravity. I think. Like.
Oh, it was. Yeah. I did.
top
Yeah, I
snap.
did do that.
Is that right? I don't know. Someone will tell me I'm wrong. But you had to sing it. It was a fully female alto range.
Yeah.
Fully alto range. It was miles out of tenor now. And
mixed that
and they
bitch.
were like,
I got
"Can
it
you
right
just
on
do
it."
this?" And you just did it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have been able to touch that with a 10-foot pole.
No, but I mean, well, yeah. No, I didn't help myself with that one. I did just do it.
Yeah.
I think I probably corrected a few little wobbles that were up there.
I had to do a song recently that went up to the B5. That was quite tricky.
I don't know. It was just
Yeah, that was big for me. For you, that's
sound
just
like Star Wars
walk
character,
in the
doesn't
park. Yeah.
I don't know. Without I never know what note I'm doing, really, unless we sit with a piano and go, oh, yeah, I suppose people don't, do they? A stupid thing to say, never mind. Yeah, so I suppose that's the process, writing-wise, and photography.
Yeah.
Yeah. Video, I suppose, is similar to photography.
Yeah, there's a bit more kind of consideration with gimbals and things and Steadicam devices that we use.
Yeah.
Where possible.
Yeah.
Handheld.
Yeah, taking sort of movement into account. But other than that, there's similar batteries.
It's just loads of batteries.
It's just loads of batteries.
Loads of SD cards. Although you've got a little beast in an SD card, haven't you?
Yeah, I've got the. So my main camera is the Canon R5C.
Yeah, which is
one. You there. And then the other two that we're using are EOS R's. EOS R.
EOS R. All mirrorless. We've got a nice little
mirrorless.
trio of mirrorless.
Although my first camera, the Canon 750D,
Love the 750.
do chuck that in every now and again.
Yeah.
Because actually, once it's got either the EF 24 to 105, which is currently on the R5C, or the 70 to 200, the two sort of lower end L series lens. So they've got the constant f-stop at f4. They're super sharp.
Yeah, they look great.
So actually, when they've got the 750 on it, they still look great. And there's been times where, because I've only got one R adapter,
EF to RF adapter.
EF to RF adapter, yeah. Need to get a few more.
Other way around, actually. RF to EF.
RF to, anyway.
Fat word.
So I've only got one of them, so I'll be using one on whichever one. So there's times where I might use the R with its kit lens, and actually the footage from the 750D with the L series lens on it blows it out the park.
Yeah, man.
It's completely better. Yeah, I really rate that little camera.
We haven't had to use my little Nikon in a while. We've got plenty of cameras now.
The colour space is just completely different.
So different.
If you set the settings properly on the R5C, the Rs, or the 750D, it's all very similar. There's often little corrections and things you've got to make sure. But from video, if the white balance is all set to the same Kelvin, and you're in the same shutter speed, ISO, what's the other one? Aperture. If it's all the same, it's relatively similar. The R uses C-Log 2, and the R5C uses C-Log 3, which is so much better.
Is it?
I think so.
I haven't had to use it yet.
C-Log 3, I think it was so much better.
Right, nice.
It was so much easier to work with. I basically built a preset, bung it on everything, and then it's like, right, that's it, done. Whereas I tried forever to try and find an input LUT to use for C-Log 2, and they're just not right. And then I built one, and even that wasn't right. So I had to put it in, and then I have to adjust the colour again with it. And I'm probably just going to have to put it back in and make another one. But yeah, they're all very similar. The Nikon one just looks completely different. Not bad.
Yeah, just different.
Just completely different.
It's got a different dynamic range as well, isn't it?
It's much warmer.
Right.
Off the bat, but I don't feel like it's as true. But I've not really used Nikon that much, so I don't...
It was just my first camera. I think it was a gift from a nan.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, big up your nan.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice. We're probably coming near to finishing.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you've been affected by any of the subjects talked about in today's program, no. Yeah, if you've got any comments, we've done. This is now number 3 of these.
Yeah.
We definitely want to hear from you guys.
Yeah, this is definitely a forum for open conversation. Feel free to disagree with anything you've heard.
Absolutely.
We're probably wrong on half of it.
Yeah. Yeah, we're ready to be wrong.
Yeah.
Right, give us a slating.
Yeah.
Well, not slating. That'd be
Yeah.
nice. But
Yeah, leave with kindness, but
yeah, but get in contact. So it's info@stavestudios.co.uk is the email address. We're on Instagram at stave_studios.
Yeah.
I'm on Instagram and Facebook as DR Photophonics.
yeah, websites are all on the way.
Websites. Oh yeah, well the website is actually up, but
That's
it only directs. It's just got one page
Oh,
at
it
the
goes
moment.
to yours, doesn't it?
So, the Stave Studios one has its own site. We just need to work out.
I haven't been here for a week, so I don't know what's going on. Been away.
Yeah, I've been doing quite a lot. Yeah, so I'm on Instagram and everything as DR Photophonics or Dr. Photophonics. Steph is on Instagram at StephenJK89 and on Facebook as Stephen Kelk. You don't really have a
Haven't really done it
page, do
there.
you?
No. I did have a couple, but I'll probably make one at some point.
We
I've got a
are-
website, stephenkelkmusic.co.uk.
Yep, stephenkelkmusic.co.uk. Mine is
interesting.
drphotophonics.co.uk, and we are both under stavestudios.co.uk. Everything will be linked in to that one sort of centralised site.
And you can book our services for loads of stuff.
Yeah,
We'll do music stuff for money.
we love it all.
Yeah.
Upcoming gigs.
Ah,
So it will be for.
yeah, what we got?
Actually, it won't be anything. Oh, so the open mic night at the Rising Sun
Yeah, it'll be on the 4th, won't it?
will be on Thursday the 4th. So feel free to come along to that.
And then we're away until
And
the
then
8th.
we're away until the 8th.
Yeah, then I've got a few things the week after. But
And then
we'll do that the week after.
we'll do that the week after. Yeah, cool.
All right.
Nice.
Cheers, guys.
Thanks for watching.
Anyone that's still watching,
Listening.
cheers.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
And catch you soon.